Welcome to the last Right Stuff of this week with me, Matthew Wright. It's Friday the 19th of June, the day Eddie and Sophie celebrate their 10th wedding anniversary. Paper, wool, leather... Is it lavender? Tin, they're telling me. I thought it was lavender. Now you remember those anti-stab knives the Daily Mail reported on last week? Well, we've got one. I don't know if you can see it. The point has been taken away. And the idea is that it makes it harder for people to stab people with, because it's supposed to snag on clothes. It should be able to chop safely in the kitchen, but in the manufacturer's words, be useless as a weapon. Shall we find out? Don't try this at home. Oh, it stabbed straight away.
Yeah. Weird, that, isn't it?
Oh, that's true.
So, well, that's the anti-stab knife. From watery melons to something delicious and fruity, this morning's panel. First up, comic Steve first, ladies and gentlemen. In rehearsal, which we didn't have, but some of the girls in the office were playing about it, they had problems getting it through the T-shirt. Well, there we go. I keep getting stopped in the street. Where can they see, they say, where can they see Steve First do his comedy thang?
Well, I do a show at the Pigalle the last Wednesday of the month, so that's... The easiest way, because I've got... And I'm doing Latitude Festival, we're talking about festivals later. And I've got a live game show, which I'm also doing. But the easiest thing, if people are on Facebook, just join the Lenny Beige group. Lenny Beige, B-E-I-G-E, and then you will be kept abreast of future gigs. And that's the easiest way. That's the only reason I use Facebook. That's what's... Yeah.
You don't have to apologise to me.
I'm not apologising. We've already had the Twitter conversation, because Gail is a big Twitter.
I suspect we're going to have a bit more with Gail Porter, ladies and gentlemen. Because I know you were doing good last night, weren't you?
I was, yes. It was the Terence Higgins dinner last night.
Stephen Fry was there.
Stephen Fry was hosting it.
He's a tweeterer.
He's a Twitterer as well. And I was really excited because I went in and he went, "Nice to meet you. I see you've been Twittering this morning." I was like, "I haven't." And I don't know why it was that exciting, because it's not really that exciting. But it was really good. It was a lovely dinner. Cried lots. They had some really great speakers and things. Oh, it was amazing. Great night. Really good night.
And twittered it all out
I
already?
didn't Twitter at all because I ran out of batteries. I'd been twittering so much. I ran out of batteries on my phone, which is just as well.
It's just
I know.
so sad.
But I did it when I went in, and then...
a normal, healthy woman until...
I am normal and healthy.
Twitter.
I'm healthy. Or am I? Yeah, bless me. Yeah.
She texted me yesterday, because I'm not on Twitter, to say, "I'm having my hair cut in a hairdresser's."
Well, I had this fluff at the back, but I didn't realise. And the thing was, I was looking at, you know, when you mirror, and it was like this brown bit, and it looked like a small monk. So I went into this hairdresser's in Soho, and I said, "Look, I'm really not mad, right? Because I get my hair done," and they're all going, "OK, we'll do your hair." And I went, "No, seriously," and I did that, and they clippered it off for me. Didn't charge me. Thanks very much.
Now, our special guest of the morning, it's Springwatch, Packham, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Gosh. Chris, of course, has been bringing us fascinating wildlife telly for more than 20 years, which is almost unbelievable, actually.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. I started quite young.
Yeah, from the really wild show to the Antarctic via Sahara, but most recently in North Norfolk.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, to be honest with you, I only dreamed of travelling to these places as a kid. You know, I grew up in a 3 up, 3 down in Southampton, collecting my tea cards of birds of the world, watching them with torches under the sheets. I know. Birds of the world. It's not a euphemism for a 70s magazine, you know. And
Birds of the world.
Let's bring it back to Springwatch, please, because I know Bill Oddie is a friend of yours, is a friend of this show. We love him on here, and we know he stood down and everything. It must have been a big decision for you, though, to sort of step into his shoes.
Yeah, of course. Principally because he's a mate, to be quite honest with you. He's not been well. He's getting better, which is great news. Much better, I have to say. But yeah, I mean, I went into the job. I mean, I don't want to be arrogant, but we have similar qualifications in the sense that our passion is lifelong.
Oh, it's come through the screen very clearly, yeah.
And so, whilst he was and is a national icon, and there was some boots to fill, when it came to the natural side of it, then I was quite confident that I could bring that to it. but it was whether people would like my more punky flavour than his more hippie one, really.
We're
Just an age difference between us, basically.
Yeah, we'll get on to that in a moment. I was just reading up on you before you came here, and I saw this great quote, I think it was in the Telegraph, where you described yourself as the Pol Pot of wildlife.
Yeah,
and I thought, I can't wait to meet him.
Well, you're still alive, so, you know, it hasn't been all bad. I like Bill, you know, I'm here to make a difference, basically. That's what I want to go to my grave, having made a positive change in terms of conservation and possibly wider environment too. So I will say what I think. And sometimes playing devil's advocate is a way of garnering some attention and getting people to rethink. And I don't like the idea of anyone being complacent. And there is a degree of complacency in conservation at the moment. So sometimes, you know, I'll speak out and people think, well, you know...
The Pol Pot thing was in relation to cats, if I remember right.
Yeah, it is.
At that point, I just thought we're going to be best friends. Because you're not very keen on cats at night, are you?
I'm not very keen on the way that people keep their cats. I like cats. I respect them as a predator. I like the fact that people keep them as pets. I mean, I'm a dog person, you know.
Me too.
But at the end of the day, they do have an impact on our wildlife. And what we need to do is work with people who keep cats to change the way they keep them. And keeping them in at night is one way. Well, that reduces the unnecessary predation by about 50%, we think. And then if you have these new little collars put on them, that produces, reduces daytime bird predation by 45%.
What do the collars do?
Well, they produce a little bleeping. They're electronic. They're not a bell like a primitive thing. And they can tell how the cat is moving, and when it goes into its stalking mode, it emits a high-pitched sound which birds hear and they fly off.
How amazing.
And they cost a couple of pounds, you know.
I'd like to put them on people as well. Yeah. Now, we have a clip. We have a clip of
people
Chris
with
in action.
Knives, for instance.
Exactly my thinking.
Sneaking, stabbing mode.
Exactly.
It would start bleeping.
Yeah.
Put the Daily Mail onto that, I'm sure it'd be more productive.
They're probably already on it. Now, we have a clip of you in action from a couple of weeks ago with some rather messy goldfinches. Now, lots has been made of the chemistry with you and Kate Humble, which begs one question only. When are you getting married?
No, don't.
Don't tell me she already is. That's what divorce lawyers are there for.
She's already married, and it would take a lot to get me down the aisle, to be honest with you. So.
Welcome to the show. You obviously get along very well. She's a lovely girl.
Yeah, great. It was really great working with her. She reminded me, in some ways, with Michaela Strachan, who I worked with for many years. You know, they're both really, really professional. They take it very seriously, which I struggle to do at times, as you might imagine.
Yeah, is it well, I was going to say, is it true that when that you, in your, I suppose, not taking it too seriously mode, do you try and get Smith's lyrics into your broadcasts?
Well, the thing is, again, you know, I need a reason to concentrate, really. and by making life a little bit more difficult for myself, I thought that would be, you know, a prank. And I wanted to slip them in really insidiously so no one would notice.
So give us some examples, can you remember?
Well, I did. I mean, the first one I got, you know, hand in glove. You know, I just mentioned the guy was hand in glove with his badgers, and the next one I said that a swallow was a handsome devil, which indeed it is. But by the time I'd got, you know, to what difference does it make, rhetorically, I was found out. I mean, and so then I just launched into Vicar in a tutu, and we finished off with what for me was TV gold when I got Kate to say, you know, girlfriend in a coma.
Did you get that on?
I got it on, yeah, I got it on. And,
very funny.
And,
How did you manage to get... How? Just how?
Well, it was the most difficult one because obviously,
weirdly,
potential for bad taste on a wildlife programme. So I handed it. It was slightly orchestrated, but it was worth it, you know. So I handed her a bunch of flowers and said, "Do you think your husband would mind if I gave you these on national television?" And she said, "No, of course not. But let's hope it doesn't put your girlfriend in a coma." To which I replied. To which I replied, "Don't worry about it. Some girls are bigger than others." So it was a double whammy, and I finished the series very happy.
Now, when did you get the wildlife bug? Was it really early?
Very early. My parents say that I was crawling around the garden picking up ladybirds, you know, before I could speak, and spooning tadpoles into jam jars. So it was clearly something that came very early. I was very fortunate. My parents allowed me to fill the house with creatures. So we had, by the time I was 8, the bedroom was lined with tanks filled with snakes.
You had things about bats, if I remember.
I was obsessed with bats. I mean, I still am quite an obsessional person. And, yeah, you can't keep bats. They used to sell fruit bats, these giant, great bitey things in the local pet shop, which would have consumed me at the time. So I wasn't allowed to have one, which was sickening. So I actually got a black mouse, and I called it Batty. And I would hold it up by its tail and pretend that it was hanging up, hanging up to roost. And no, this gets worse, because I would squint at it so that I couldn't see quite clearly what it was and pretend it was a bat.
Did it fly?
It lived quite a long, healthy life.
I'm just imagining trying to get it to fly.
Yeah. Throwing it across the room.
So,
A question for our audience, please, Eric.
OK, next to me is Marianne from Yeovil in Somerset. Welcome.
Hi,
What's your question?
Hi, Chris. My question to you is, have you had any nasty run-ins with animals?
Marianne, I've had lots. I have, yeah. Throughout the 70s, they were with Chelsea fans. To be honest with you, yes, but not that I'd probably consider nasty. I've been bitten by all sorts of things, from poisonous snakes to lions and all sorts of birds. But, you know, it's part and parcel of the job, and I kind of grew up getting bitten by animals, so... The strangest thing is, when I fell off my motorbike, it really hurt. But when I got bitten by a lion in the leg quite hard, it didn't. It was funny, you know. So, yeah, that says something, doesn't it, really?
You got bitten by a lion?
Yeah, several times.
Several times? Chewed?
Well, not exactly chewed, just punctured. But,
Wait, I just keep saying, how? What?
Right, well,
Where were you?
Firstly, I was lucky enough to help hand rear 2 pairs of lion cubs, which were rescued from a safari park. So we had them up to Labrador size, and of course, when they play rough, and they make holes. They make bigger holes than a domestic cat. That's what it comes down to. But the one that bit me in the leg was an allegedly tame animal that we met in South Africa. And the fellow who had it was in a large enclosed garden, and his daughter was getting married, and there were lots of tents being put up, and it was very excited, and in the end it just got a bit too rough. And I'd gone to interview him. He'd been dragged through a swamp by a male lion and had most of his leg ripped off and had nearly bled to death. So when his lion, and it was an adult lioness, bit me in the leg here and made a hole with one of its canines, I couldn't really moan about it too much. It was this sort of strapping Afrikaans bloke who survived a near-death experience, and this is the wimpy little Englishman who's had one tooth hole.
I don't know.
Relative. So I had to sit there and interview him with my finger in the hole like this, going... you know. And, but the next day, when it swelled up and bruised, it hurt like hell, to be honest with you.
I'm not surprised. Gail, have you got a question?
Did you used to be a big party boy? I heard that you were in a punk band or something, is that right?
I did, yeah. I was really into the punk scene. And,
My girlfriend said today that she and all her friends, one of whom is getting married in a couple of weeks, adored you for your Billy Idol haircut.
Oh, right, OK, yeah.
Did you have a Billy Idol haircut?
Yeah, there it is. Look at it, yeah. That was semi-adult plumage. This is adult plumage now. Yeah, I did still like to party.
Was the punk thing important for you, just to show that you didn't have to be a bearded weirdo hiding in some hide?
You've gone for the stereotype, yeah, which is great. So, yeah,
was that conscious that you
no,
wanted
it wasn't
to break
conscious.
the stereotype?
I mean, to be honest with you, I got into the punk thing at 16 when it all kicked off, and to be honest, you know, it was terribly exciting.
Yeah.
And I'd kind of separated myself from many of the other kids at school because I had, you know, been getting up early to fly my kestrels and look after my foxes. And to be honest with you, I was pretty well ostracised anyway. So I sort of thought, well, I'll buy into this. I mean, I'd been, I've got to say stuffing birds, and I don't really, you know. I've been mounting birds. It doesn't get any easier. And I just sold a couple of stuffed owls, and I bought the Clash first album. It changed my life, basically. You know, so that was it. So it wasn't a conscious... You know, I'd never have grown a beard, I don't imagine. I wouldn't have been wearing Barber, so...
There's always time. There's always time.
No, not now.
I think we have a clip. Do we have the clip from Jim Will Fix It? I think this is from 1988. Have a look at this. I'm looking at that clip and I'm thinking, what is more scary, the Spider or Jimmy Savile? I'm sorry.
No, my haircut, probably, actually.
It's great to have you here. So it's been a real treat already. We've got a little bit further to go. I should tell you about today's show, folks. It's going to kick off with the headlines. Chris will take us through those. Our first talking point this morning. I want to know what you make of these, the blacked-out expenses. How do you square all this with Gordon Brown's promise of transparent government? It makes you realise what a public service the Daily Telegraph has done, doesn't it? If you can't trust the government to be open and honest about these expenses, can you trust them to be open and honest about Iraq or anything else? Campaigners fought tooth and nail to get MPs' expenses under the Freedom of Information Act. Is this good enough? Pages of blank. Is this good enough? If you've got something to say about it, we'd love to hear. After that, do families need Father's Day? The Times, the Thunderer, has been calling for Father's Day to be axed. Why? Because it's a pointless exercise designed to make card and gift makers rich. Fathers should show and be shown some love every single day, not just once a year. And what about those without fathers? How do they feel when everywhere they go there's a poster reminding you not to forget about the dad that you don't know who may no longer be with us? Do families need fathers? Looking forward to your calls on that. And finally, what's the future for festivals? Check this out, right? There are going to be 500 or so festivals vying for your attention this summer, 27 taking place this weekend alone. Overkill? Or do us Brits simply have an unquenchable thirst for camping, rain, music and hedonism? What's your take on the UK's festival scene? What's been your best and worst festival experience? Really looking forward to your calls on that. Here's the lovely Kirsty. Gorgeous dress as well with the numbers. Kirsty.
Thank you very much. If you'd like to give us a call, the number is 0207 173 5555. Calls will cost a maximum of 10 pence a minute, and that, of course, is based on a BT landline call. Mobile phone charges and other networks may vary. You can email us at rightstuff5@5.tv, and, of course, if you'd like to send us a text, the number is 80088. Text messages will cost 25 pence plus your standard network charge. Not all messages will be shown on screen, and please always do put TWS before your comments.
Thanks, Kirsty. After the break, Chris will be taking us through the headlines, including the latest on Fred the Shred's pension, and it's good news this time, and how an iPod saved a teenager's life. Back after the ads, don't go away.
According to the Daily Mail, school pupils must wear goggles when handling pencils, poster paint or blue tack. Find out after the break.